us a little bit about you and your business.
I started baking about 6 or 7 years ago, because a friend of mine who lives out in the high desert gave me some sourdough starter, and I just ran with it. I became obsessed with perfecting sourdough, and my persistence led me to eventually creating my business, Nice Loaves, where I like to bake for my friends and the community, and I teach sourdough bread baking workshops right here in my home.
Thank you. And why this business? What called you to create Nice Loaves?
I was called to create it because I was really searching for a creative outlet apart from my job as an engineer, where I spent over 40 hours a week on a computer, and found myself during COVID in between meetings flipping dough, and I realized that I needed to trust the universe and do something that I was really truly passionate about, and it happened to be sourdough.
Great. What feels most meaningful to you about the work that you do?
I love being able to give people another perspective on food, because sourdough is often demonized because of gluten, which is understandable, but I can at least give people a perspective so they know where it comes from, the nutritional aspects of sourdough, the types of flour that I use, where it comes from, what the difference is between whole wheat and regular wheat flour. Most people don't know. So it's really gratifying for me to provide a little bit of information about something that we all consume on a very regular basis, but really don't know much about.
And speaking on gluten, do you offer gluten-free alternatives?
I do offer gluten-free alternatives. I actually maintain a brown rice sourdough starter for some of my glutard friends.
What's something about running your business that people don't see on Instagram?
What people don't see, probably the late nights for last-minute orders of bread. The occasional pop-ups that I do, I can do 30 loaves of bread in one oven, which takes a total of 3 days to prepare for. So I can't condense 72 hours into 60 seconds of a reel. It's a lot of time, fermentation time, basically, for preparing the sourdough.
Mm-hmm. What's been harder than you expected running this business?
Harder than expected. Letting go of all my preconceived notions about who I am as a person, and trying to identify as a baker and not an engineer like I did for so many years, basically stepping into a totally different role. Now I consider myself more of an educator.
What keeps you connected to this work when things feel challenging?
What keeps me connected, probably this tactile sensation right here. I feel like an alchemist of sorts, working with earth elements, and it's a direct connection to my food, which provides my nourishment and my energy, my fuel to keep going. So the fact that I'm making something that I can consume and I feel good about it, and then I can share it with other people, keeps me connected when I might feel stressed.
Where do you feel the most alive in this work?
The most alive during my workshops, because I can see the aha moment in people's eyes when I explain to them the process of fermentation and the little bit of chemistry and biology that is actually in the background behind all this, what's going on with flour, water, and salt, and people can actually learn while experiencing my workshops.
And is there anything on the horizon for you that you potentially plan on adding or creating in this business?
Well, on the horizon, maybe in a fantasy world, I have fantasized about having a space where I can mill grains from scratch, make my own flour, and then hold my sourdough baking workshops in that space while simultaneously being able to sell a much more nutritive product to the public. And it's gonna just take the flavor of the bread and all the things that I bake with that freshly milled flour to the next level.
What's something people might be surprised to know about you?
They might be surprised to know that I'm fluent in Spanish.
And do you have any other projects or businesses that you're also a part of?
Well, to piggyback on the previous question, another thing that people might be surprised to know about me is that I sing classical Indian music as part of my yoga business with my partner. I'm also a yoga instructor and a musician. So these are other aspects, other businesses that I'm also very heavily involved in when I'm not baking bread.
Okay. And what does success look like for you right now, not someday?
Right now, success looks to me like basically what I'm doing. And what success feels like overall is my health. I feel right now like I am the healthiest I've ever been. And at this point, going forward, it's just maintenance. So that to me is success. Nothing else really matters if you don't have your health. So I feel like I'm pretty successful.
What kind of person tends to resonate most with what you offer?
You know, I've been really surprised. There isn't one type of person per se or demographic, because I get all types, all ages, all ethnicities from all over the world who come and take my workshop. And really the main person who might be most interested is anyone who's curious, anyone who wants to learn.
Mm-hmm. And aside from your sourdough bread, is there any other sourdough product that you make?
I do scones, sourdough scones. I am slowly working to expand and experiment in all things sourdough, because you can literally add sourdough to anything that contains flour. So yeah, that's a whole nother world.
All right, so we're gonna do some rapid fire questions here.
All right.
Okay, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Email or voice notes?
Email.
Planning or chaos?
Planning.
Overthinking or winging it?
Ooh, little column A, little column B.
Working in pajamas or pretending to be professional?
Pretending to be professional.
Calendar reminders or vibes?
Calendar reminders.
Hard conversations now or later?
Immediately.
What was your biggest challenge in starting this business?
Fear. Because I worked at a corporate job for so many years, and I was afraid that if I let go of that nice salary and consistent job, that I wouldn't make it again. Without letting go of that part of my life and that identity, I could have never started this. And sure, I'm making less money, but I'm way happier. And I just had to trust that things would work out. And I'm a competent person, so I knew that I would make it work.
Is there any advice that you would give to other people who are dealing with this same issue?
The advice is to just do it, because you will never know unless you try. And any kind of failure that you might face is really just a learning opportunity.
And have there been any big failures that you've kind of had to come across in this process?
Oof, burning bread during a work experience, during a bread experience, a workshop. Yeah, just dealing with that. Also, preparing for pop-ups and feeling overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I have to bake all this bread and it's got to be perfect for everybody that I'm going to be selling it to, because I want people to like it. I want people to like the product that I have. And I create the tension in my head. And as I'm working through the process, it's really not as chaotic and stressful as it needs to be if I am present.
Thank you. Alan, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about you and your contribution to Laura and her business.
Well, I'm the other half here at Yucca Yoga, which is the yoga part of the business that Laura didn't really mention. And also during the bread workshops that she holds here at Yucca Yoga, I play guitar. So not only do you get to learn how to make bread, but you get to hear a little bit of guitar in the background.
Alan is the entertainment, so he provides light ambient music and sets the mood for everyone who comes to the workshops.
I'm also the one who encouraged her to start this business.
This is true.
Sorry.
No.
I just did.
It is true. I could not have done this with also the support of my partner. That was a really, really important aspect. He encouraged me to trust and let go and overcome my fear, and it was a good decision.
Life's pretty short, so if you got something to do, you better do it. And I don't think you regret trying.
Well said.
Where can people find you if they're feeling curious?
Best Instagram, Nice Loaves is my handle, or my website, niceloaves.com.
Great. Thank you so much.